Show you another tool. Now this is, you saw me use the candle, and this is the very traditional method. But now with modern times, we've gone electric. So what this is an electric stylus, and it's the same principle as the traditional one, only this is metal, and it has a heating element in it, very much like a curling iron. And what you can do is all you have to do is put wax into the reservoir. You don't have to use the candle flame, and it makes it much, much easier. And you don't have to stop, and there aren't the inconsistencies. But when I teach this class, and I do a lot of demonstrations, and I show to a lot of school children and community groups, I always like to represent the traditional method just because I'm really teaching this as a cultural element. And I want to make sure that people see that some of the traditional eggs were actually done with the candle flame and the old method. So we'll put that aside just for now. And now we'll come back to check on our egg that went into the black dye. So now you see it covered it all up. And I'll pull it out now, although I would normally get it a little bit darker, but again, just so that it's not black on black, my cloth here. I'll bring it over to the viewing station. You see that little bit of yellow peeking through and red peeking through. Those were those lines that we drew. And then what happens, now we would melt the wax off and reveal what's underneath. So what we have to do, we have to hold it just near, not in it because that will scorch. So just near enough, and if I can peek around the corner and see when it turns liquid, then you wipe it off and see it starting to show through. I hope that can show through, and I'm just doing a little bit just to give you the essence of it here. There, see that? And it's just peeking through. So imagine doing that over the whole egg, and what you get is this one we showed you before. It's all covered with wax. And then as it melts off, you see these beautiful colors that show up underneath. So, and that's so much fun to do when we have a really nice reveal and we're able to show all those beautiful designs that show up underneath. So, and now when we come back, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the history and a little bit more about the designs that are on these beautiful eggs. Hi, and welcome back, or I should say in Ukrainian, Vitaimo, which means hello in Ukrainian. We are covering the art of Ukrainian Easter eggs called pisanki, and in this segment I would like to show you some of the symbolism that's found on some of these eggs. So this one in particular, as I mentioned, these are called written eggs because each one has a message. And this one has curlicues, and it also has pictures of wheat. And in an agricultural society, that would be wishing someone an eternity of prosperity. Because to a farmer, a prosperous crop means prosperity. It's a nice message on that one. I'm going to show you a couple more. I mentioned the geometric designs. This one is just one of my favorites because the colors came out so cool. This is a little bit more traditional with the reds and oranges. Again, the Ukrainian designs are said to be the most intricate, and those are achieved with repeating geometric design. See that? This one is split into 4 and then split again, so each side has 8 designs on it. And just by sometimes happy accident, you put a diamond, and then next thing you know, it makes a star in the center. So again, this was one of my favorite eggs just because it came out, the colors came out so nice. And again, if you leave a space in between the lines, it fills in with black, and it has the same effect as a black magic marker outlining a design. So it really makes the colors pop. And these are not exactly traditional colors, but I just love purple and blue together. So this has a reindeer. Reindeer and horses mean health. So again, there's the curlicue. So this is wishing someone an eternity of health. This one is what I call my insanity egg. I saw this design on a brochure for National Geographic magazine. I just had to try it. So this one took me 7 hours. And as you see, it's the same design. What makes it characteristically Ukrainian? Not random or messy looking. It's the same thing over and over and over. So this one in particular, there's a particular design on here 64 times. So I call it my insanity egg, and some people maybe think I'm insane for doing that. And just another touch, as you see on the tip, we also decorate the top and the bottom of the egg, and this is a snowflake or a rose pattern. And what I do on every one of my eggs, I put my initials and the year that I did it. And again, look how nice the colors came out. These are really my favorites, the orange and the red. And one more I wanted to show you just for fun. They don't all have to be Ukrainian, but I did a little tribute when Michigan State won the basketball championship. I did one with the Michigan State logo, and this one I had to use a very, very fine point tip in order to get that crest. Coming up, I'll do a little bit more about the history and where the eggs are from, so I hope you join us for that segment. Hello and welcome back. In this particular segment, I wanted to share with you some of the traditional Ukrainian designs. Again, what makes Ukrainian designs look the way they do is repeating geometric designs. It's not random or staggered. And what you can see, I have some examples here. This particular shirt is hand embroidered. And again, you will see repeating geometric design. This shirt belonged to my father, Steve Woloson, and he was born here in Hamtramck, but he was very proud of his Ukrainian culture. And this particular shirt was actually his uniform for when he performed in the Ukrainian Bandura choir. And what's funny is he did not speak Ukrainian, so he had quite a hard time with some of the music, but he had such a passion for it, he really enjoyed that. And he instilled that love of culture. He and my mother, who were both educators, they instilled that in us, and they would take us to art shows and museums, and anything that was cultural, they tried to expose us to. So my father actually taught me this craft of pisanki making, although what's funny is he never really did it as intricately as I do. His designs were more greetings to his friends, and he would give them as gifts for people. Now, I also want to show you another traditional method, this particular ceramic bowl. This also is very traditional Ukrainian. Again, as you see, the same pattern repeated over and over, and these are very traditional Ukrainian colors that you see, the red and the black, and it actually almost looks like embroidery. That's the pattern that's been recreated on the sides and the lid of very traditional Ukrainian colors, as well as what's on the egg, and that has, again, the wheat, which is a wish of prosperity to a farmer. And it also has the triangle, which represents the Trinity. After the advent of Christianity, they felt that these eggs were the perfect symbol of Christianity because besides rebirth and springtime, you see that we have the forsythia, because they're the first flowers to bloom in springtime, and they are very evident on the Ukrainian eggs. But also, with the advent of Christianity, they say the egg is the perfect symbol because it symbolizes Christ rising from the tomb. And lastly, I wanted to share the Ukrainian legend where they said the Blessed Mother was carrying a basket of eggs to market, and she came upon the scene of Christ being crucified, and her tears fell on the eggs, miraculously transforming into beautiful designs. The eggs tipped over and rolled out, thus signifying the spread of Christianity across the world. So I think that's a beautiful Ukrainian legend that they tell, and we wanted to share that with you today. So thank you for sharing this craft with me. And if you want any information about what you've seen here, where to buy the materials, you can contact me by email at osusanaw@aol.com. And until next time, this was the first edition of my new show, Sessions, and I appreciate you joining me, and we'll see you next time.